Hey there, folks. My name is Joe Crawford of artlung.com. Pretty much every day I go to CSSBattle.dev, do the daily target, and I record it. And I try to talk about it as I do it. Let's do this one. Ooh, that's a fun one, isn't it? We got some interesting shapes going on here. All right. So we need an approach. A lot of different approaches here. I can think of ways to do this only with background. So say linear, linear, and then linear gradients. So you could do all linear gradients, but you would need what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe. I think 5. You do it as conic gradients, probably 2 conic gradients and a linear. And I'm not going to do any of that. Let's do the blank template. So we'll take a paragraph element and craft it into shape. I think what we'll do is a clip path, and linear gradients. Yeah, something like that. So let's make a thing that's as tall as this is, and we'll constrain it using margins on the body so that it's only as big as it needs to be. So only the height that we need. So 220 tall, and then margins on the sides, 3. Okay. And then the next thing we're going to do is make that clip path. So this will be a pentagon clip path. Clip dash path polygon, and we've got sort of default clip paths. Excuse me. 100% 0. So 0, 0, top left corner, 100% 0, top right corner, downward, 100%. And then what? How about let's try 80%, and then 50%, 100%. And then we'll say 0, 80%. And that's how you get an arrow shape. All right, so this number needs to be less. So the vertical 7, 50 is too little. 60, 70, 71. Oh, how about 67, 68, 69? Let's do it in pixels. 100 pixels. 1, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. I'll try 150 pixels. Sure. That'll reduce down to what? 50 VW, VABH rather. All right, so let's make sure we have the height right. So that's a little closer. So when we do make it 221 pixels tall, it seems to line up better. I'm looking at the diff view there, and I want to see very little of the anti-aliasing. I think let's adjust that number. It might be 149. See if that looks better. No, that's worse. How about 150? How about 151? 151 might be better. Okay, we got that. So what's next? And while we're here, since we seem to have good points there, maybe we want to make it not a pentagon, but a septagon, so 2 more points. And then all we need to do is have a linear gradient if we do it that way. Do we want to do that? Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so we got our points. So then in that case, we need to add different points. So that means that 0, 0, and 100% 0 are then not the points. So let's say we have those 3 points. So we started at the bottom, and then we did 0, 151. And then we need what? Let's call it 25% over and 100 pixels. And then 25% over 0. And then we'll call it 75% over 100, 0, and then 75% over 100 pixels. So now we have kind of that shape, and 25% is not So we're going to deal with the vertical next. I mean, really, any of the more points you have, the little kind of trickier it is. But we'll control what we can control. How about 110? That looks not too bad. Let's so we're 25% over. Instead of that, we'll do 40 pixels and see how we get. Oh, 40 pixels could be right. So I'll change this also to 40 pixels. 40 pixels looks good. So we'll make this, what, 80 pixels? And we'll make this one also 80 pixels on the x-axis. Oh, no, that's no good. How about 120 or 100? Round numbers to the rescue. So now we have that shape. All right. I kind of don't like how those are meeting. So what do we need to do to make that adjustment? Do we need to, which points do we need to adjust? Does this become 150? I'm changing this back to 150. That's slightly better. So I'm going to submit that. I know it's off. I think that ends up being like 90% match, maybe 92 or 88, something like that. She says it's 98%. Let's do the linear gradient part. Linear gradient. And what we're going to do is we're coming in at 90 degrees. So it's from the side, right? Default linear gradient is top down. And we're going to move it over, what, 20 pixels? And so it'll start transparent, go, and I don't want black, actually. We'll go 20 pixels of transparent, and then the green 0, and we'll give it a width 60 pixels. And so now we have a stripe. So that's the wrong numbers, but the right idea. So let's make it a little wider, 70, 80. Pretty close. I'm going to submit that as well. I don't think it's at 100%. You see those little edges? Those edges are no good. They're no good for us. Nope. We'll take it. So even though I was suspicious that I wasn't going to be nailing it there, and truly that doesn't look like it's nailed, I'll minify it and replace. And let's see, can I adjust? I think I can adjust this. No, I can't. I can't. I need it to be on the body. Other questions? Submit for a final answer on that particular look and feel. And I can chunk off the final things there. Do I want to do this another way? What a great question. Kind of have an impulse to do it a different way. What if I said no clip path, buddy? To do that, I kind of like, so there's a technique that I like. Undo the margins on the body and then set margin on the element to be some number. So I need to push it down. I'm gonna make the square 40 and then auto on the sides and then rotate 45 degrees. And then I'm gonna set the width and height to be the same value. And for this, we'll do a variable. This is a great usage for a CSS custom property. And I'm going to set it to the same number. And that dash W will say it's 100, let's say. And there's my square. Great. Now I got all the colors wrong. So let's get them right. And we're probably gonna be that same linear gradient. Let's just we'll do the right green, great. 40, 50, 60, 70, 100, 100. Boom. That's great. Love it. Okay, so then we need linear gradient, probably at a 45-degree angle, right? Because we've taken our square and we've turned it 45 degrees. And we want to, probably it's the same, probably it's identical gradient. And I've lost track of what the numbers are. 20 pixels, and then this color 0. That's wrong. Oh, that's no good. So whatever my intuition about how that linear gradient would work is wrong, and that's kind of interesting to me. I think that, well, let's try minus. Okay, so that's kind of interesting. So, all right. So if I'm getting this, oh, because of the repeat at an angle, that's the problem. So instead of trying to set a background size and then having a repeat, I'm going to just do every color. So it's going to be this green, transparent, green, transparent, green. So we have 5 color stops. And I have the angle wrong. That means it's 135. No, it means it's 45. That looks right. Okay, so let's put some numbers on this. 20 pixels, 0. Does that look right? Oh, it's close. Let's use Q units. The Q, 20, 31, 2, 0, 40 Q, and set another 0. So I'm doing this manually. 35, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 40, 41, 42, 43. And I'm set the next color stop. And I didn't do Q, and I wanted to do Q, and then colors. So those are all my color stops. And now I've adjusted these numbers. 105, 106, 107, 106, 121, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's great. And then longtime viewers will remember that I love a conic gradient for this kind of purpose. So that's what I'm going to do here. Conic gradient, which is going to be at some narrow value at 40 pixels. And I'm not going to do the second number because I think I can just do a halvesy version of that. I need this brown color, 75%. So I move that center of that to 40 pixels over and halfway down, whatever the background size is. In this case, it's 400 wide by 300 tall. So I'm going to set that color 0. Whoa. Oh, that is not right. I wanted 25, but that was kind of interesting. Oh, and interestingly, oh, that's not what I want 75. Haha. All right. And then we move it over. 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, and then it needs to be wider. 5, 4, 5, 6. All right. So that's pretty close. I think one of these numbers is no good in terms of the color stops, but this is another way to solve the same problem. And yeah, we're at 99.9%. So I'm going to use pixel values for that color stop. So let's look at the diff for that. I'm going to set it to pixels. 100, 1. How about 99? 100, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5. So 100.5 pixels looks good. When you get into angles and curves, sometimes the pixel values get weird like that for shapes that are at angles. So that's 100% match. For things that are at angles or in curves. And so we just learn to adjust, and this is through experimentation. And that's also super duper fun. I really like that technique of margin auto, right? So a lot of the times when you're in code golfing, you're trying to precisely set those margins to minimize your code, but it makes a shape like this hard to create unless you set a width and height. And so now that I've got that, I could remove these margins that I set, and remove the need for a width, because widths, you get a natural width of any element, block level element, such as a p tag. In this case, it's just a little more straightforward. And it's not a better score, but it is another way to do it. Hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching. That was 15 minutes worth of CSS. I enjoy doing these. I keep doing these. I've done all of the daily targets that have existed so far. I've gotten to 100% on the vast majority. I don't always get to 100% match. Some of them are very tricky, and some of them are not doable, I believe. If you look at the page, rlearn.com/CSS battles, you can see, get links to all of them if you want. And why? I don't know. These are mostly for me, but I enjoy doing them. I enjoyed making CSS. I enjoy writing HTML. I enjoy making web pages. That's what I do. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Go make a web page. See you around.